The real rich won't gui wealth. Yes I am a really rich person. Is it all quite discreet? Not really. Bags costing a few tens of millions of VND, worth hundreds of millions of sports cars. The price is billions of VND. Even private jets and luxury yachts are also part of consumer activities that some rich people are very fond of. Speaking frankly, these expensive things were originally created exclusively for the real rich. If they don't like it, luxury goods do not sell out. But the spending of the rich and the ordinary, not at all on the same level. Degree if it needs to be said about the difference. I think the most accurate word is the. Before we dive into the more, don't forget to follow the channel to know more facts about money and help you quickly achieve financial freedom. The Art of Fortune. Greetings to you and your friends. A girl with a salary of 5 million VND a month to save half a year to buy an LV bag is largely not because she really felt that bag was beautiful to such a worthwhile point that instead she believed that rich people use my luxury goods also use luxury goods, which means that I will also becoming rich in the eyes of people. Other attention not to buy LV bags as me will actually get rich after buying her. Just becoming poorer, but important is to buy an LV bag and then others will think that I, rich in feeling of being seen by others, is rich and receives this admiration, is often referred to as the vanity of a single form. The extreme of this can be seen in the upper class ladies of the city who know very well that they are not capable of the ability to spend luxury goods but still try to contribute money to buy together to take photos and post it on social networks for the purpose of showing off the compartment of the wealth of some people suddenly own a block. Large assets are referred to as emerging giants, often show vanity by buying a lot of luxury goods without knowing that they are suitable or not. As long as it shows off, the logo must be so big that one can see from a distance that they are wearing all the items. Expensive. There is a saying, the more people what is missing, the more I want to show off it. Although, however, I don't completely agree with the say. Hey, the emerging giant likes to show off, but are they short of money? Lack of what they lack, or rather, feeling belonging to the wealthy class because of the time. Their time to become rich is too short. Still immersed in the excitement of getting rich suddenly, so they want people. They all know they have money. They need others respecting and even admiring me just because they have money, which shows an attitude excessive in showing wealth, making outsiders feel uncomfortable. Actually, not only outsiders feel like so many emerging giants themselves also feeling uncomfortable on their own. Didn't believe they had earned so much money, so they constantly show off. Compartment to confirm to others that yes, I am really rich. An opposite word with an emerging giant. It is a clear aristocrat. The word aristocratic has a positive meaning. More than a lot of core differences are nobles who have had money for a long time, while emerging giants have only recently become rich. Is currently an aristocrat who is not very when showing off. Minerals are not aristocrats. Do not need recognition. But they do not need recognition from ordinary people. From nobles carry a connotation of blood and caste as if they were A+. Separate copper only needs recognition from people in the same class. They don't caring about the view of outsiders. There is no need to be an outsider. Realize. Take the example of buying bags of luxury. Bags often have big logos printed on them, but that's only is a basic product line and not too expensive. Meanwhile, the bags are really expensive, and limited edition goods often do not have a clear logo printed, such as the Birkin bag of Hermes, priced at $10,000 or more. Looks very simple if not a passionate. Branded goods you may not recognize its Hermes bag, let alone to guessing the price of a rich person. Huge amount of money to buy this bag, but not for the purpose of impressing statue to everyone, because they do not care about recognition from people who don't understand what they're looking for. Is if there is another person on the road who belongs to the aristocracy of the two, glanced at each other, looked at each other and smiled and realized that both belong to the same class. Implicit understanding without saying that it is the social meaning of luxury goods in their eyes. No need to show off to the masses, just prove to those who really understand. This is also why many people say that the real nobles, when dealing with facing ordinary people, humble, courteous and discreet, because they were so sure that they richer than these ordinary people. So they don't need the jealous gaze of others to prove themselves so. In the eyes of ordinary people with demeanor of the aristocracy is somewhat generous and high class, much more than the emerging giant. This content comes from not intentionally even. I don't care if there is any class left higher than the aristocracy without considering the latter. The asset level can be very difficult, but in terms of the standard of living is really there if it is an aristocrat. Emerging giants and likers. Luxury sharing is compliant and set up a set of rules. Then in the system, the higher that rule stands, the more have money and get used to having. The more money they have, the more they have the kind of people who are completely out of the system. This rule while the new giant and aristocrats still compare the value and the logo size of luxury goods as a type of person. This has a completely different application. That is, they do not use luxury goods to search recognition or sense of their caste. You can use a few tens of millions of pockets, but can also use a bag of a few tens of thousands with. They are simply for storing things and making accessories just fit and fit with the costume, or the situation is okay when they carry tens of millions of pockets they don't consider. Usually people use a few tens of thousands of pockets and, on the contrary, when they carry a bag of several tens of thousands, they also don't criticize her users. Luxury goods they don't use to locate yourself or others have that attitude. Is the highest level of applicability. Not humble but also not arrogant. Sounds like self-deception, but expensive and cheap stuff are the same. Not the fact that those who achieve to this extent, it is not self-delusion, or there are only two types of. The first person who can own the first is people who have actually seen and experienced the vast world of wealth, is not inferior to what they have ever seen, and use all the good stuff. Best for them to go to the Michelin restaurant, or eating at a summer restaurant is just going to eat. Use Hermes bags or budget bags also, just to use all of that, are all a normal part of life. Live and have no meaning. The second edition is people who really understand clearly about themselves. They have a strong belief that they know what their value is, and no material proof is required, no matter who it is in front of. Joe Kai recruits the billionaire's effective assistant, Li Jiacheng, when she just turned the first money. She went for a walk round in high-end shopping malls with numbers. The money she earns can be easily bought. What bag was there but she didn't buy for the first time? Read this paragraph. I see. It was autonomy, but later I received. That is a deep understanding of herself and her confidence. She understands that, with his talents and abilities, he has the bag at the moment does not have anything significant in the future. She is sure will have more and will stand in the position higher when facing a series of expensive bags. She doesn't feel in a hurry, or low self-esteem is only lenient because she knows that the most precious thing is not the bag that is herself. The more psychologically mature they are, understanding the difficulties of others, but to be humble and courteous and, through the treatment of others, can often sympathize with the difficulties of people. Have Li Hong, who is urgently appointed to Nanjing to handle official duties on the go. In his hometown of Hop Phi, he decided, taking advantage of the time, to visit his former teacher is from Ti Lam. When Li Hongtrong and his entourage arrived at the gate of the teacher's house, the doorman saw him wearing a military uniform with Hoa Lingdin. Dian Guan immediately panicked, hurriedly went to announce that he saw a panicked look. Rebellion of the GC people of Li Hongtrong Lab. He called him back and told him not to report. Can you lend me a pair of pants? Normal shirt without a complete doorman, full of confusion but quickly looking for it. Clothes for Mr. Tui. Prisoner did not understand the meaning immediately. Asked while Li Hongzhang replied, if I wearing this official uniform to see Master Ju, that will show the official status of the. I made him feel the pressure, even though I want to review my old love. I'm sure you are also will definitely be a little apprehensive, but if I remove the official and wear the teacher's civilian clothes, will be more comfortable and there will be no feeling. Saw how ordinary people can Kui ancestor wear brocade to the village when they have status, but to do as Li Hongzhang did not show, issuing high-ranking officials without notice. The title truly understands and respects other people's feelings. That's which is difficult for ordinary people to do. Yes, I used to have a friend. This is a well-known investor in Singapore due to working in the market. Invested, so every time he goes to work, he wears high-end suit with tie and sleeves. Delicately coordinated, but every time you go. At class meetings, he changed into a bottle t-shirt often and leave the luxury car in the garage, choosing to take a taxi to the meeting at a glance. He's like a vase manager, usually in Singapore despite graduating more than 20 years, but the relationship with his classmates still as natural as when many people went to school. Asked him why every time he went to class, he dressed like that. He replied that the part big my old classmate doesn't have anything. Material things like mine are not because of them not trying, but because I was lucky to be born. Out in Singapore my parents are entrepreneurs, the first generation of Tondat people here. My starting point was much higher compared to them. I changed my expensive suit. Taking a taxi to meet friends is to care to people's feelings that help them not feel distanced and unhurt. In comparison, compared to people you just like to show off. The property compartment on social networks is probably, my friend is so much superior. Writer Haruki Murakami once wrote in the book The Men Who Don't Have Women, that a real gentleman will never, now bragging about the amount of tax paid or the number of women who spent the night with him. We are really psychologically mature, will not deliberately boast about achievements, title or property by them. Understand that there are many more in this world, people who are not equal to themselves because of their feelings, and understanding that they rarely flaunting one's life. The more mature they are mentally, the more know how to empathize with the difficulties of other people. That sympathy also contains both the temperament and the qualities of a person who has experienced many things in life will understand the value of what they have in front of them at the end of their time. Qing Kingdom, a floating scholar. The reputation of national studies invited Funny Vi, the last emperor of the Tang dynasty. Khan came to his house as a guest when the king Kwok Vi excitedly shows off antiques, paintings and ivory leopards that he had collected all his life. Funny showed not much interested. He even pointed to a few items and told the Wei kingdom that those things are all fake kingdoms. His thoughts were all based on Shen, America and its history to choose from. How could it be a fake? Maybe he didn't take a closer look after Pu Yi left Wang. Kwok Vi immediately went to his friends urgently. Have deeper knowledge to help differentiate. Then go to the antique store, find an expert. As a result, it is unanimous that this thing is indeed a. After this incident, the kingdom of Wei was very admiring the young emperor Pu Yi, but had extensive knowledge after that. He again humbly asked Fa Yi to teach me how to. Discriminating against the spectrum of Yi said, I don't either understand the methods of differentiation that you say. Just look at those items. I found it different from what was at home. At that time, the kingdom of Wei began to understand that what is really precious is not the items he has worked hard to collect, is the flexibility and freedom in the way of looking. Get a call. Many people are often complacent with what I have, but the person who really owns it are not proud of owning. As the sentence say, summer insects can't compare to deep well eyes can't compare to the sea. Even ordinary people cannot compare with the Tao. If a person has not actually seen it, it is very easy to get into the shell of the snail, usually mistakenly thinking that what we have is. It's best to forget that the world is still very vast. Recent actress on websites with the view choosing a partner in a real show. Take Company and a number of other actresses chat about the criteria for choosing their friends, not to mention muscular men or handsome who just say that she likes boys who have seen the world, likes people who are still naive. She slowly explained that only those who understand life and seeing the world to appreciate what I have to see. Boundaries are a process to own and experience, in which you will understand what is really beautiful and what is bad as fox, what is low, what is quarter, what is cheaply. Giatan for a lifetime has a lifetime of wealth, billions of dollars, but a suit he wore also lasted 10 years, 8 years in 10 pairs. Shoes, at least 5 pairs of old shoes. The watch he wears is just a rack. 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. Kong Warren Buffett, financial tycoon, regularly at the top of the leaderboard. Forbes, but he only eats one meal a day. McDonald's, about $10. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, drives the car costs less than $20,000 and wear only t-shirts and pants, casual jeans. Those who have seen the more the world, the more we understand the world and your own bottom. When you experiencing a lot of suffering and feeling about the deeper the world's awareness of the more sober you are, the more you will recognize their shallowness and smallness from then on. Understand what you really need. Included in the journey from rich to single simplicity of life, you'll eventually understand what not to brag about and what not to brag about. What needs to be appreciated. The world is buzzing on social networks is not equal to self-recognition. Wake up. In the first episode of the third season, Black Mirror has such a story. In that world there is a system. Evaluate each other every time people meet. They all have to give each other a point from 1 to the year of the poll. So everyone is very concerned. The recognition and evaluation of the when taking pictures. They must choose the angle. Beauty when meeting colleagues who don't like them. Also find a way to talk to each other laughing. Fresh welcome wearing a fake mask just to exchange high scores for each other. To be living in the apartment that I always dreamed of. Being a woman. It is necessary to achieve a score of 4ph5 in short time she is obliged to lift. Point means that a large amount needs to be obtained. Users give her no 5-star rating. Film everything attending the wedding of a wealthy friend. In the process she, unfortunately, encountered a series of incidents such as the flight was cancelled, the self-driving car ran out of gasoline, and hurt when applying for the last child. She was also abandoned by her best friend, causing her score to drop tragically. Too much pressure. She goes to the extreme of liberation. All the dark powers in the heart, mind and fall into a vortex with no way out. Extreme vanity and anxiety have caused. She defies everything to please the commune. In the process, each of them lost his reason. Someone used to say one of the signs of intellectual maturity is when you don't also interested in others. Hitting what is your price. Many times what we do, caring is just a word or idle actions from people. A person's greatest pain, often when using thought and standards of others to control and evaluate. My life. The writer circulated and divided. Share an interesting story with a friend. Came to Shanghai for the conference. Mid-close schedule should be to save time. He took her to a party. Hospitality in the industry. People at the meal. The party while eating and bragging said their company is about to raise capital from the other. Show off new from Dubai to stay in the hotel. Sale for a month. Another person said that he had just bought a villa in. When she and her friend stood awkwardly at corner of the general director's office of the company party to discover her friend in the crowd, ran over to say hello and thanked him for to whom he even personally took a business card. After he leave your friend's value at the banquet table skyrocketed. Everyone came to ask, trying to guess who he is. She just smiled and said that I was just a house research we are a project with, a little bit related to their company. So it was. Meet A. Then the author asked his friend why did not reveal his true identity. In her friend's party was the head of the laboratory. Europe invests millions of euros in research. His rescue has the potential to be profitable, 100 million. But her friend only laughed and said, then it's okay, I'm still just a person. A father's husband also has to pay debts to buy the house for 20 years. Is busy every day. Busy with all kinds of things like many people of their age. Hey, I don't need anyone else to confirm the price. Many people always want to live in the respect of others, receiving admiring glances from everyone because that they are willing to show their status. I have no limit to brag, talents, possession or achievement of the actions of wanting to decorate their appearance with that glamour. Actually, the C factor is self-contained and small on the side. And the most interesting thing is really yourself in the work rapes. Lynn Weiss. She has a hidden story. This person's profound philosophy from the perspective of the other person's hometown. Tondat became a merchant. Youth does not know the bitterness of life. When I get old, I understand the hardships of the path of life. In a young age full of enthusiasm, we are always afraid of being judged by others. Usually I just need to achieve a little success. Go to some places to meet some of the characters I have. Want to be like the tattoos on Song's face, Jang, so that everyone can recognize it immediately, and gave rise to admiration. But true intellectual maturity is people who know how to see mountains are just the mountain. After seeing that the mountain is not a mountain, then I saw that the mountain was still a journey mountain. This introspection leads to a change in think instead of waiting for affirmations from others. I like solidity in one's own inner world. I am who I am, where I am my worth, as much as I am free to evaluate the value of, without having to take respect or recognition from others for self-satisfaction. Complete. After many years, when you have walked through half of your life, will suddenly realize, in addition to the scenery outside, the only person Being able to accompany you is the main thing. When we walk with the left, the heart matures over time. You will understand that the only thing that can lift, support your life beyond the scenes, things on the road are only themselves. The real wealth doesn't lie in you. How much money is in your way? Understand and use them richly. There is really a sense of fullness from the side in it is the awareness of the value of the. When one truly understands this, their lives will become relaxed and more meaningful than the relaxation of the rich. Really comes from a deep understanding of life and a clear awareness of the. They know that wealth is really not, must be an external material display, is abundance in the inner world, and the realization of personal values according to. This means the highest realm of wealth. There is freedom of the soul and overcoming inner limits. So when we say about wealth, we shouldn't just practice focusing on the accumulation of material wealth, but also have to think more about how to grow mentally, wisdom, and use wisdom in life. Living to enrich the inner world of wealth is really an art. The art of living is the expression of understanding. Know deeply about the life in a rapidly changing world. Let's not forget this item. The original goal holds a heart, maturity, and calm pursuit. Things that really meaning let our lives, not just material prosperity, but also spiritual richness and satisfaction in the heart. That soul is the ultimate purpose of the wealth we are pursuing. Thank you for following today's content. If you feel my content is valuable, don't forget to share with friends and people. Follow me to know more about secrets of money. Hello, and see you.